think it's fair to say we're in an age where a remaster of a classic game is kind of expected, with Final Fantasy VII Remake, Resident Evil 3, Modern Warfare, Crash, Spyro, Medieval, and even Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap and DuckTales getting the remaster treatment. I don't think we've seen the last of remasters. At this point though, I guess we should differentiate between a remaster and a remake. What exactly is the difference? Cause all the games I just listed, they seem like remakes to me, and yet they're classed as remasters with the exception of Final Fantasy VII. The Jak and Daxter trilogy, or Sly trilogy, or Ratchet trilogy, or whatever on PS3 is just an upscaled port of the PS2 games in one collection with a set of trophies added. That I would class as a remaster, polishing up the classics and re-releasing it. A remake is essentially a retelling, taking the original game and adding more to it, or changing the game significantly, so Final Fantasy VII Remake classing itself as a remake is correct. Ratchet & Clank PS4 is a remake, but actually goes by the term reimagining. Oh, what are you doing? Why is this getting more complicated? Crash N. Sane Trilogy is a remake then. It's got a fresh lick of paint and adds more to the original games with new levels, new time trials, worse bike controls. Let's not focus on that. So why is it classed as a remaster? Well, I think there's only one man to blame, and that man is Sean Layden, the former president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment America. Around the world, everyone was craving a new Crash game, or the old games remade, and Activision were about to deliver, and Sean is the man to reveal all live on stage at E3 2016, and he called it a remaster.
The original Crash, Crash 2, and Crash Warped, fully remastered from the ground up for PlayStation 4.
Final Fantasy VII Remake was announced the year before, and I guess he knew that was significantly different to the original in comparison to Crash, hence the reason that's the term he used, but it still created a weird definition that people are confused about to this day. Just to clarify, I don't actually blame him, I just find it amusing that it probably does actually boil down to that one moment. But I guess I should get to the main point of this video, some games that I think need a remake or a remaster. So let's go! Super Mario 64, the 3D platformer to define 3D platforming. Whilst not the first of its kind, it's certainly one of the earliest and definitely shows what is truly achievable by a team of talented developers. This game is a masterpiece, but it does show its age in places. And you absolutely cannot blame it. It's from 1996 and was such a revolutionary game. But imagine what this game would be like if it had Mario Odyssey graphics, and better controls, and maybe a couple extra levels. This actually happened on the DS. Well, not the Odyssey graphics part, but it was remade back then. But with the technology we have now, this could be something truly special, and I think you want that too. The Rayman Trilogy! We've had Murphy teasing a Rayman 4 since Rayman 3 released back in 2003, and since it's been 17 years since a proper 3D Rayman platformer, it would be a little weird to just release Rayman 4 now. So how about remaking the trilogy first? The problem with this is I can't actually see them doing that because of how much work would have to go into it. Not to discredit the incredible amount of work that went into the Crash trilogy, but all three games follow the same formula. With the exception of the moveset expanding as the games go on, the gameplay remains mostly the same and the level themes for each game repeat, so you can save time here and there in development. With Rayman, every game could not be further apart from each other. Rayman 1 is a cute, whimsical, hard-as-balls 2D platformer. Rayman 2 is an incredibly dark, moody, serious tale and change for the series, and some of the greatest platforming of the era. And then Rayman 3 goes absolutely nuts with a comedic vibe with sinister undertones, a set of power-ups, and a lot more exploration, and a lot more variety as they try to get even crazier with each passing level. Each game is so wildly different, the amount of work that would need to be done is insane. But Michelangelo himself has expressed interest in going back to the 3D Rayman era, so you never know. It's Rayman's 25th anniversary this year. Come on, Ubisoft, you know you want to announce it. Okay, so this franchise is never going to get a remaster or remake ever, because the studio doesn't exist anymore. But I'm gonna put it here because it really needs to return. Tumbi, also known as Tumba outside of Europe. This 2.5D platforming RPG series is an absolute masterpiece. Some of the most enjoyable platforming and environments with a very weird story about a boy with pink hair trying to defeat the evil pigs by throwing them into a throbbing sack. what about that sentence doesn't interest you? The whole game revolves around completing weird quests around the world, and it's just an absolute delight. I fully recommend checking out these games. There were 2 for the PS1, and seriously, they are the greatest underrated gems the gaming industry has ever seen. Finally, let's conclude with something I can actually see happening. Persona 3. As we wait another age for Shin Megami Tensei 5 to even get the slightest amount of news, Persona's 25th anniversary is next year, and Atlus usually likes to host big concert parties and reveal big surprises. And what bigger surprise is there than bringing back the game that made the Persona name what it is? Persona 3 is an incredible game, but imagine, if you will, that game but with the graphics of Persona 5, the slickness of the UI, and the creativity of the dungeons. Persona 5 is a masterpiece and what I consider to be the ultimate standard of a turn-based RPG in this generation. Persona 3 is limited from its time and nothing more. Its gameplay is still mostly brilliant and its story is phenomenal. And I mean, it's revolutionary for what it did, and the franchise has only gotten better over time. It's just that Persona 3 is outdated here and there. The thing is, this isn't so far-fetched. They've already got a lot of the assets they need. Persona 5 is the building blocks, and the Persona dancing games has most of the characters and locations from Persona 3 already in it. Yes, I know that's only a small fraction of what they would need to make a game of that size, but it's a good push instead of just starting from scratch. I think the biggest change for the game would have to be Tartarus's layout. It's essentially the same floor over 250 times, and whilst the turn-based gameplay and god-tier music more than make up for that aspect, it still is very repetitive. Persona 4 also had randomly generated flat floors that repeated, but each dungeon had a different gimmick to keep it fresh. If Atlus could design unique floors, or at least segments, I think that would be incredible and would certainly solve that problem. Persona 3 Remade would just be a masterpiece, and I would love that so much, and I'm sure many people watching would too. But with all that said and done, I think we will end the video here. Thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, share the video around. I also have a Twitch, a Twitter and a Patreon if you would like to support me in the channel. Tell me, what game or games do you think needs a remaster or remake? I would love to know, and I'm sure there are going to be plenty of suggestions in the comments. I'm looking forward to seeing them. But thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Take care, bye bye.